Hello, this is Peter Coffeen, with you again as a member of Norfolk Artists and Friends, an organization of professional artists living and working in the Norfolk area, including the towns of Litchfield, New Hartford, and Sheffield, Massachusetts. Our group has been sponsored for 12 years by the Norfolk Chamber Music Festival, with an annual August exhibition at the Battelle-Steckel Gallery on the grounds of the Yale campus in Norfolk. That exhibit was canceled this year, but the Norfolk Library Associates has invited us to show our work in the beautiful Norfolk Library under social distancing conditions during the months of September and October. This video welcomes you to the library to view the work of 21 artists and to hear a bit about each work in the words of the artists themselves. So let's take a look. The first work is by Tom Halas. It's titled Marshland. Oil on canvas, 14 3/4 by 16 3/4 framed. Tom says that with heavy strokes of oil paint, I hope to capture an imaginary landscape, a place where you have visited or would like to visit. Our second work is by Ruth Ann Olsen, and its title is Monique Maltaire. It's a 32 by 42 oil on linen. Ruth Ann says detail and abstracted reality are dueling dilemmas for me as an artist. I always hope to express something of value. The viewer will decide. Number 3 is by Susanna Anderson, and it's called Iris. It's an 11 by 14 acrylic on canvas. For Susanna, this piece developed over the last 5 months to express the isolation of the pandemic and the frustrations of institutional boundaries. Next is a 16 by 20 lino cut by Susanrood titled Bird's Eye View. According to Susan, we see ourselves in a certain way. Bird's eye view shows us in different perspectives. Number 5 is by Laura Lasker, a 16 by 20 acrylic called First Encounter. Laura says few things are more beautiful and evocative than clouds and ocean. Having seascapes to admire during winter darkness can remind us of halcyon summer days. Next we have a work by Jean Grasmere titled Spring Melt West Side Road, and it's a 16 by 20 oil painting. Melting snow and rushing streams foretell the promise of spring on West Side Road in Norfolk. I love the anticipation of beauty that each season brings. Number 7 is a digital photograph by Anita Holmes titled Yellow House with Red Tulips. Anita says, depending on the light aspect, doors and windows can invite a range of emotions. This entrance in my Color Red series evokes a cheery quietude. Here's a work by Madeline Faulkner, Monarch with Echinacea. It's an 18 by 24 oil on panel. Madeline tells us light, shadow, color, form. This still life portrays the simplicity of everyday things, a soulful stillness. This work by Harvey Kimmelman is titled Morning Fog on Mill Pond. It's an oil painting, 14 by 18, about which Harvey says that he is always looking a little harder and longer to be inspired by and to capture the color and light that's in the air around us. Number 10 is an 8x10 by Wayne Jenkins called Sheep in Snow. Wayne tells us he enjoys painting local farm scenes. I spotted these Dorset sheep in Salisbury last winter, looking curiously in my direction. Next, we have a watercolor by Pamela Henderson. It's called Wild Flowers Captured and is 16 by 20. Pamela says she is inspired by things found in nature. Wildflowers, also known as Japanese anemones, often bloom in late summer, helping with the transition to fall. Here is a digital photograph by Rick Schwartzberg. It is 30 by 40 and is titled The Potato Farmers. Rick is a man of no words about this work, so we'll just let it speak for itself. Number 13 is 22 by 28 and acrylic on panel by Ronald J Sloan called Walking Toward Tomorrow. Ronald says, "I'm glad I didn't come with instructions, but sometimes I would like to have read them." Well, this one looks familiar, rather like some kind of triptych. Well, it's my digital photo, 14.5 by 20.5, and it's called Hanging Out. As a general rule, I look for striking color, light, and design in nature and the built environment, but always with an eye out for humor and the surreal. Next, we have Edward Colt with an 8 by 10 oil painting called Dolly. Edward remarks that I paint what interests me, animals, pets, and people. Tolstoy said, "Art is not a handicraft. It is the transmission of a feeling that the artist has experienced." Number 16 is by jewelry maker Janet Marks. It's a 24-inch chain with a 3-inch blue stone, which Janet describes as a hand-wrought sterling silver chain with a removable faceted blue natural chalcedony stone slice. The chain can be worn alone or with the stone. Babs Perkins is showing a photograph titled Windsor Barns 2. She says, "My work usually takes me far from home, but scenes like this allow me to focus anew and show my home region for all its unique beauty." Next, we have an 18 by 24 photograph by Bruce Frisch, an inkjet print called Portrait of a Grandson. Bruce lets us know that Marcello is a great grandson. Here Karen Linden presents a 12 by 16 oil painting called Colin on Block Island, about which Karen says, after an abbreviated summer, the bright occasion was a lovely end-of-summer week on the island, sunny beaches, warm water, and great seafood. John Riedeman's Untitled is our penultimate work, a 22 by 24 woodcut. John tells us that woodcuts are the two-dimensional cousin of sculpture, using the similar tools and skills of wood carving. Pulling each print offers an intriguing and fresh surprise. Our final work is a 16 by 20 acrylic painting by Turry Rosted titled Winter Barn, about which Turry says, well, nothing. It's a secret. And there it is, part 2 of Norfolk Artists and Friends exhibit at the Norfolk Library. We hope you've enjoyed this digital preview and will come to the library in person to have a live look. Thank you for watching.